All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is High Ruler. If you're here from the Assemble Podcast, the Assemble Podcast is no more. It has been rebranded into High Ruler. So, as part of that rebrand, guys, we're going to be talking about a lot more when it comes to video games. And of course, with that being said, today's video is going to be about Quantic Dreams. Now, Quantic Dreams is a developer that's put out games like Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, Detroit Become Human, and games that are interactive story games, but people love these games a lot. Now, with that being said, let's get into the actual meat of the video, and that is Tom Henderson. So if you don't know Tom Henderson is a leaker on the Call of Duty and Battlefield side of gaming. He's fairly reliable, probably more reliable than people will give him credit for. But with that being said, and I keep saying that a lot, we're going to have to fix that. But Tom Henderson yesterday put out a tweet of the character from Detroit, obviously with lightsabers going across, and that right there lit up a lot of people's thoughts going, oh, Quantic Dream is actually making a Star Wars video game. Now, this is good and bad for multitude of reasons here. Now, obviously, the good is that Quantic Dreams do what they do very well, right? If you played Detroit, if you played Beyond, if you played any of their games, you know that the quality of their games is obviously class, right? Maybe second to prime Telltale games, but with that being said, obviously with the state of Telltale, obviously Quantic Dreams is obviously at the top of their game right now. So the other part of that is obviously their games are interactive story games. There's not really a lot there going on, which means if you don't necessarily like the interactive story games, this might not be the game for you. But when we look at their job postings, there's actually quite a bit here that we can actually dissect from this job posting, right? And they have a few of them, but honestly, we're going to look through some of the ones that I think are, kind of pertinent to this discussion, because what I'm seeing here is actually it may not be an interactive story game. Granted, we don't know. It's still way too early to tell. But when we look at something like senior game designer competitive, when I see the word competitive, I don't think an interactive story game counts as a competitive game. Now, there's multiple ways you can do this. Maybe it's not even for the Star Wars game. But to me, I look at that and I'm like, okay, let's think about it. Do we really think they're going to make a Star Wars game that is interactive story? It's very possible, but is there any sort of other game that Quantic Dream would do that would be competitive? Now, to be fair, it could be something that's totally out of the blue. It could be a new IP. It could be a different IP. But for me, I look at Star Wars and I think Star Wars is perfect for a competitive game. We haven't had really anything like that since Battlefront 2, since Squadrons. Now, I think this is a perfect time to see exactly what you get out of Star Wars in a competitive environment. But let's go into some more. So when we go through these, you also have senior game designer as well as lead game designer, and these are for an action adventure game. Now, I don't know if I would classify, well, I guess I would classify what they've already put out as action adventure, right? There's action, there's adventure. I guess both of those count if you really want to do it that way. But for me, I think there's a lot here to look at competitive in an action adventure game. I don't know if what they've already put out, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe someone out there wants to play Detroit competitively. Maybe there's someone who's going to look at this video and say, I wanted to do that. I wanted to play the Detroit esports. And hey, if that was you, that's okay. But to me, it seems like there's enough here to say that it is Star Wars. It is an action adventure. Now, is it an interactive story? Maybe not. Is it a competitive game? Very possible as well. But with that being said, guys, obviously there is quite a bit here. And honestly, I look at this and I'm like, okay, we know there's a few Star Wars games coming up, right? We know EA is continuing on with Fallen Order 2, with Battlefront 3, with Squadrons 2. We know Ubisoft is working on their game, right? Their Division looter style Star Wars game. And now we know about the Knights of the Old Republic remake. And now we have another Star Wars game that is rumored to be in the making. Whether this turns out to be an interactive story or a competitive game remains to be seen. But once again, it's nice to see Star Wars games are now starting to be made, and we're getting more of them, right? It's crazy now to think that once the license opens up to many studios, we start getting more instead of locking it behind the EA exclusivity. Now, with that being said, guys, what do you think about this? Have you guys played Detroit or Beyond Two Souls or Heavy Rain? If you have, do you guys want to see them tackle Star Wars in that direction, or do you want to see them tackle it in a different direction away from what they've done previously? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Thank you so much for checking out the video, and I'll see you guys next time here on the channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, and do all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys later on for a stream, guys. Have a good rest of your day, guys. Take care. Later.